Thank you, Success. Today, our speaker is not from outside. It's one of our own WMI scholar from Uganda. So I'll just briefly introduce her and then we can get started. So our speaker today is Caroline Viola Isinge. She's a WMI alumnus. She's a graduate. She's a graduate of a bachelor degree in business administration with a major in finance and accounting. She's a member of the ICPAU, a professional accounting body. So she'll speak more about what those initials are about. So apart from that, she's a student of the African Management Institute of Uganda, AMI. It's a professional body as well for BDS. So I'm using the initials she provided. She'll definitely speak more about her background as she comes on. Viola is also a CEO or a founder of the VISCA, so VIISCA, Adonai Consultants Limited. She's co-founder and CFO of Timeless Bamboo and Co. Limited. She's a finance consultant at Seventh Mind Consulting Company Limited, and she's also a regional accounts manager at Uzima Finance Uganda Limited. She's also, above all these very fancy titles and all these things that she does, she's a wife and she's also a mother. So please help me welcome Caroline Viola as she comes to give us today's session. So Caroline, please, you can take over. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Phoebe Musonda, for that elaborate introduction that you've done for me. I don't think I have to add anything to that. It's maybe just to build on a few things that people may not understand. But before I continue, am I audible enough? Is everyone hearing me? Success, can you hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you, Caroline.
Okay. So thank you so much. Let me just explain a few things about my introduction, as Phoebe had mentioned. When it comes to the CPA, it's a professional body for accountants, and not until you are a professional registered with that body, you may not be a fully accountant person in Uganda. So as a member and still a student, it's important that I build on with that profession and make sure that I certify myself as a full professional accountant. And so that's why I am already a member of the International Certified Public Accountants, specifically in Uganda. And then with the BDS, I joined it last year. It's more of providing a service that enhances small-scale businesses to develop and grow and sustain themselves and make sure that they progress. Research shows that most of the small-scale businesses start, but maybe for one reason or the other, just in 1 year or two, businesses collapse. So that program came up to train people to be able to reach out to these small-scale businesses, support them in areas that they are in their weak areas, so that they don't die at early stages, but that their businesses will thrive. So that is about the African Management Institute. And then the others about the consultancy firms that I'm engaged in. The VISCA is my personal that does financial consultancy services. All financial services can be handled by us. And then the Seventh Mind is also a consultancy firm that brings on board a number of professionals with different backgrounds so that we are able to we are able to extend a service or consultancy services of all categories to different firms that need a particular service. So briefly, that is it. If I may make elaborate introduction on that. So friends, you are all welcome. Just adding my voice to Phoebe to today's session. It's a privilege. It's so humbling for me to be the one sharing specifically on that topic. I have really been encountering such things. I have been faced with a situation where I want to share my win, but then I ask myself a lot of questions. Are you sure you need to share it now? Are you sure you need to do it later? Is that the right audience? And so forth and so forth. So today we are going to discuss a few things about this very interesting topic. For me, it's interesting because sometimes you will present yourself and then not everyone will perceive you the way you want to be perceived. So as we start right away, let me just share my screen. Kindly confirm to me if you're able to see my screen. Is my screen okay? I see a sign from Phoebe. I think you all can see my screen, right? Okay, so this is our topic today, and this is our topic, our strategic self-promotion, in brackets, share wins without feeling like you are bragging. So let me bring to attention that this discussion is not going to be a lecture. It's actually going to be interactive. All of us are going to be involved. So right away, as we start, I would like to hear our expectations before I move on, before I say anything about this topic. Each one of you joined with an expectation. So quickly, can somebody just unmute and say, I have come to attend this session, but this is my expectation.
Hi, good evening, Ma.
Good evening.
Yeah, we can see your screen, but I think you should put it on slideshow, so it will be an expanded version. So I joined up this meeting because the topic related to me so much. Um, most times we most times it's either when you want to share your wins, it's that it feels like you're trying to show off. So for me, I'm always trying to find the balance between um actually saying, oh, I did this and this is what I did. I have value, that kind of thing, and not wanting to sound like you're being proud. And or it's I think for most of us who are Africans, or putting your stuff out there, and most people will be like, oh, you need to be private about certain areas of your life. You don't need to tell everybody what you're doing. So you're always torn between those two options. So seeing that topic, I was just drawing. I was like, this is a contemporary day topic. So I am expecting that with this webinar, I will understand that sharing my wins, I'll no longer struggle with it. I'm trusting that as I listen and go on to apply what most of the things you'll be sharing, I'll no longer struggle with that imposter syndrome. Oh, should I share this? Or I went to. I'll just do it because I just hope that, like, I feel like there's so much I'm going to learn in this session, and it's really very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you're not alone. Let me hear one more person or one or two people, and then we can move on. Actually, let me have one person so that we'll be able to redeem time. Any other person, please share with us your expectation. So that at the end of this session, I want to see if our expectations are met. Somebody can unmute and then just share with us what you had in mind or what is your expectation about this session.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Favor Atta from Nigeria, student scholar from Nigeria. So
Yes,
yeah,
please.
I was really interested when I saw the topic on the flyer, strategic self-promotion and everything, because I feel like especially here in Nigeria, we have that culture. We have a culture of I think keeping things privately in a way, or not necessarily oversharing, just like the first person said. So we have a culture of not oversharing. So sometimes I just torn between, oh, what should I share? Especially when you've gotten a lot of opportunities and you just want to talk about this thing that you're up to. And you're just really worried, okay, how will people perceive it? The other day I shared this, oh, I'm thrilled or I'm excited to get this. So should I keep sharing these things or um how do I go about it? So yes, I'll just really, yeah, I'd like to get more perspective on self promotion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those insights. Actually, your sharing will take us to the next participation. I think we're about more than 10 people in this session. Like I said earlier on, I am not going to do the presentation like a lecture. For us to learn best, we are going to participate and we are going to contribute. So for that matter, I think our time is going to be far much spent, but I want us to do an icebreaker. I want to have 3 or 2 ladies because of time, or even one, just make a mention of a win and how you think it benefited others. Can somebody just do it in a natural way, how you've been knowing that you're supposed to share your win, and then how did it benefit others? And then one other person is going to make mention of what they think about your win, bearing in mind today's topic. So, ladies, can I have one person just share maybe a recent win or even maybe some win that you got in some years back or some month ago? And then someone has to give an affirmation of what they think about your win. That is our icebreaker today.
Okay, I'm volunteering. My name is Susan Vincent.
Thank
English
you, thank
scholar
you,
from
thank you.
Nigeria. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I think I want to give it a bit of context. So I think I've had a number of wins, but I want to be specific on the WMI scholarship. So I think that's a win for me as a medical student. So um so I think that's the one. So which other things should I be doing now?
So you've shared it. How do you think has
Yeah.
benefited us?
Okay, to you. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Oh, okay.
thank you
I
so
thought you
much.
were talking
Please.
of the external people. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. But you're presenting it to us. And so
Oh,
from
I
now,
just got it.
yes, yes.
Okay.
But
I
it's
think that
well, I
I'll
have
change
understood.
the subject.
Yes, I have understood your sharing. And now I want somebody to just make affirmation. What do you think about that sharing? How has she presented it? How has she brought in the win, bearing in mind of the topic? Do you think she was bragging? Do you think she just mentioned it? Do you think somebody can just make affirmation on that?
Maybe I should take it again. Maybe
Yes.
another one. Okay, so I'll give a bit more context. So let me change it. Let me leave from the room, Ryan. Or I got into medical school in 2024. Yeah, in 2024, and I was among the 120-ish people that were selected among over 4,000 persons that had applied for medicine in my own university. And I was part of the first 30 people um, in that um, in that session that was being given admission to study medicine.
Thank you. Anyone to affirm on that win? What do you think about that presentation? Are we together?
Hi, Caroline. Maybe I
Yes,
can.
please. Yes.
Okay, so, well, she didn't mention how a good try, I would say. She didn't mention how it has benefited others. And as much as she was trying to talk about her win, it didn't come out as a win. I think maybe she was afraid to brag that, I am like she needed to explain why this is a win, if that makes sense. To say, these are my strengths, and this is why I got to be part of the 120 that was chosen out of the 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was holding back because, like, the topic says, we are afraid to highlight that these are our strengths, and this is why we are where we are. Yeah. But I think there's a way that we can talk about what we did. So she can say, out of the 120, maybe my biggest strength was that I was able to. So if it was a physical interview, for example, if they had an interview session, she would say, I was good at, like, I was a good orator, and I was able to explain why I was the one who was supposed to be chosen to do medicine, because my vision is to maybe transform the healthcare space. And so I need an opportunity to be one of those who progresses to do medicine so that I can effectively make a change within my community. Maybe say, this is the reason, like, I've seen people struggling with HIV, and I've wanted to make a change. And that's how you talk about your win, so that we see
Okay.
why you are the specific person that has been chosen. Oh, I talk a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. So I will get back to critic on that sharing of that win after we have analyzed and digested a number of things. So let's move on to the next slide. Let's just define this a bit before we move into understanding what self-promotion is like, and specifically strategic self-promotion. So in my research, in my study, I'm saying that is an act of intentionally highlighting your achievements, skills, or contributions to others. Whatever wins you've gotten, you want to intentionally highlight them to a specific group of people, to an individual, to your family members, in ways that will credibly will build credibility, visibility, influence, without coming across and boastful. So as you're sharing your highlights, as you're sharing your achievements, your skills, your contributions to others, to your family members, just make sure that you do not cross the line or appear as you are bragging, as you're feeling good, or you're boasting, or so forth. So it is an act of being so intentional about what you want to share, especially when it is an achievement, your skill, or the new talent you've developed. You intentionally share that highlight with your people, but bearing in mind that it should not be boastful, but also it should bring about credibility, visibility, and then I should influence people positively. Let's just note a few things as we continue. It's important to know that women are less likely than men to make mention of their achievements, and this can lead to missed opportunities and recognition. When the achievements remain invisible, opportunities are lost. So like somebody already said in the expectation, the very first person who spoke was like, most times she gets wins, but then she remains in a dilemma of saying, should I share, should I not share? As ladies, as women, we may not have that boldness of coming out and say, guys, you know what? Or ladies, you know what? Or as family members, or telling a friend that this is what I have achieved in this month or this season. But also remember that when the achievements remain invisible, when people do not know about your skill, about your special talent, the opportunities are lost. opportunity can come and they are specifically looking for that specific skill that you developed, the specific skill or the ability that you learned. But finding that because you did not share, you didn't tell us about it, you didn't tell us like you have this talent, you have this ability, you have this skill, you have this achievement. Nobody can know about it. And that is how the opportunities are missed. Note number 2 is that when you have to know when, where, whom, why, and how to share the what? The win. Actually, the very 2 expectations that you guys mentioned was actually rotating in note number 2. Sometimes you have the win, but when are you going to share it? And then to whom? Which audience is this? You could be having a win that, like now, her case example of the win was about winning a scholarship. What kind of a person are you going to tell, and for what reason? Why are you telling that person? Later on, as you continue, you have to know why you should be able to tell a specific group of people and the audience. So it's important to know when, where, whom, why, and then where to share the win. So that is very, very important. We shall be getting back to these notes as we continue with our slides. So this is how I am going to share with us just a few things. We will add on as we continue learning and so forth. I will also learn from you at the end of it all. But this is what I put in together in order to remain relevant when sharing the win. You want to share the win, but sometimes you're going to share your win, you're going to share your achievements, and then it feels like it's a waste of time. But how are you going to share your win and remain relevant? Now, the very first one is that win should be aligned with the purpose or the goal of discussion. Now, in this case, we are dealing with WMI scholars and alumni. The wins that we are going to share with each other should really be the one that will benefit the scholars. I don't know which example I can give here, but it should be aligned with the purpose and the goal of discussion when it's intended to help others to learn. You get? So that is when you can bring in your win with the intention of some other person to learn from you. For example, you can be like, for example, you can be like, we implemented this project, and then we're able to achieve we are able to save time. I'm just trying to frame an example. We're able to save time, like 20% of the time was redeemed. So you'll be the other person will want to learn what mechanics, what techniques you applied, so that you were able to redeem that time and the project was still successful. So some of those wins that you share should be intentional in such a way that others should learn from it, but also it should serve the purpose and the goal of discussion. Number 2 is where. There are some wins you can actually share them when people are in for a meeting. Some wins we can actually share them in such a gathering, just for purposes of encouraging one another. And then maybe time of presentation can even be a phone call, depending on how you're used to me, can even be a one-on-one thing and be like, my friend, you know what, this and this, I've gotten this win. I'm sure when each one of us probably got this scholarship, maybe there was this one person you called on phone and be like, you know what, I am so happy. This and this happened, depending on how I'm relating with you. So it can also be a one-on-one sharing of a win on a phone call, or even to your family members. So you need to know where exactly that you're going to share your win, but also what win are you going to sharing? Are you going to be sharing to your people? So it's important for you to remain relevant, know where you're going to share your win from. Imagine a situation where people are in a sorrow state, and then you're coming to share your excitement. It doesn't hold water. At that point, even if you share, definitely people are going to conclude you're bragging, because people are in a sorrow state where you're coming to share a celebration. And then when you're advocating for others, number C is like, we did this together. It doesn't only feel like it's authentic, but also it demonstrates leadership and also an act of humility. Most times as leaders, I know ladies here, most of us are leaders. You're leading organizations, you're leading your families, and you're leading many other small groups. It's important to acknowledge that the wins you have gotten is not by your own strength. You did it as a team. So when you're advocating for others, probably you're making a presentation on behalf of your team, it's important to say we did it together. So that also doesn't only demonstrate an act of humility, but also it demonstrates like you're a good leader, and then it's also authentic. The other one is when you're sharing when you're sharing these wins, you need to be careful what kind of words you're going to use. That is now the how bit of it. There are some words you can use. I've put in examples here. If you can see the screen, I'm using words like I'm humbled. It's an honor that I am the one sharing today. I'm privileged. I was fortunate. And then there are some words that you should just leave out. There are words like I am not surprised. I want this. I had all it takes. That really, really is an bragging. It's an act of bragging. So you need to be careful of words that you're going to use when you're sharing your win. The way you present yourself. For us, some of us who are in church, instead of saying I'm privileged, you can say that by the grace of God, I was able to buy a piece of land, by the grace of God. That is not in the church context. That still takes us to where are you going to share your win from? You need to read the audience bit of it. So words like I'm humbled, it's an honor, I am privileged, it's fortunate, or such kind of words. Actually, we'll have a better presentation of how you should share your win. When you use those words, people know you're not bragging. But when you're just excited to be like, man, I did it, I had to do it, it's me, it's actually, if it was not for my efforts, in fact, I knew I would, the things. So such words can actually it will dilute the message. The note down there is that you have to keep a running list of your wins and choose the right moment. Like I already emphasized at the beginning that you're not supposed to share these wins anywhere, anyhow. You need to know when, where, whom, and how to present it. Still backing up on what I was talking about, how to hold back a self-promotion. In the middle of crisis, you really, really don't have to bring out a win. Like I already made an example earlier on, and then when it comes to if that win is coming at the expense of others, please don't share it. If it is coming at the expense of others, probably you did together as a team, and now you're bringing it, and you want the credit to come to you alone. And probably the win is coming, and you're coming to share this win, but it's going to be at the expense of others, maybe others losing a job, maybe others losing their ground or their positions or something like that, then it's not worth sharing at that time. So you need to know that when it is in a crisis, please don't share it. If it is coming at the expense of others, please hold your peace. A moment will come and you'll share your win. And then when you keep repeating your share too frequently, everyone you meet, you even forget that you already told me your win and you're repeating it. It loses value. It becomes like really, really, so definitely someone is going to think this one is bragging. Today you've told me, after 2 days you've forgotten. You come back and tell me it is too frequent without substance. You really need to hold back your self-promotion. And then on platforms meant for other purposes, it's a platform for collecting condolence for you've thrown in your win. It's a platform for other I mean, you just need to read in between and see how to submit your win. So this is the submission I have. In this discussion that we've had, I'm just trying to be mindful of the time. In this discussion that we've had, if there's something that you're going to take away, please read this final submission that I've put. Self-promotion, when done right, is not self-centered. It is a professional responsibility to make your work visible, especially when it contributes to larger goals. So doing it with empathy, timing, and clarity of purpose separates the respected from the resented. So when you involve the other aspects that I talked about, when are you going to share, whom are you going to share with, how are you going to do it, and you're involving the issue of the timing, the clarity of the purpose, the empathy, it's going to be a respected win. But if you're just going to throw it to whom it may concern, it's going to bring in resentment, and it is going to lose its purpose on the ground. So it is less about making noise, but more about creating resonance. I have 3 examples I want to share as I conclude on this submission, because I want to give time to question and answer for this presentation today. I know somebody could be having a question, having a concern. We'll give you that time so that you raise it up and we try to answer it together. I had a friend who graduated at university, and then there was this time when he graduated, he actually made it with a first class degree. And so when he came back, he went to church and he wanted to share what had happened, the good news, the win of passing in class 1. And then he made a submission and said, praise God, I am so happy. I have graduated with a first class degree. And then he added up by saying, I'm actually the very first in our family to graduate, and I am the very first in our clan. Now the message went, but did not land on everyone the way he had brought it. So I think half of the congregation took it like he was bragging. He was the first person to graduate, you know. The others were able to note that it is actually someone is celebrating a win. So adding up and saying that I am the first in our clan, I am the first. So probably could have just stopped at saying I am so happy I graduated with a first class degree. Adding up that he is the first in the clan made people think he was very arrogant and very, very braggant about his achievements. And then the other example I have was that there was this person who went, we were in a gathering actually, we were in a training, a workshop. And so he comes with this exciting idea that he shared somewhere. It's actually a win. So he shared this idea about a certain business in this particular group. And when he was sharing the other side, it was a win. So when he came to this other group explaining the win to some of us, so after he explained with a lot of excitement, he was so sure it's a win and everyone maybe would tap into the win and enjoy. After he presented, actually somebody rose up and asked, so what was new about this win? So it felt like, I mean, we have seen that, we know these wins, we've seen it here, some of them have experienced it. So what he was sharing was actually not new to people. So they were asking now, what is the new thing about this win of yours? So it kind of put the guy off. So also you need to read the audience. What kind of win are you going to share with who at what time? So that doesn't look like you're actually sharing the obvious. And yet to you, it's actually a serious win. So those are a few examples that I wanted to bring on board, that when you're sharing your win, you need to be very careful about whom you're telling, how you're telling the person, where you're telling it from. Is it the right time? Is it the right place? Is it the right people? And is it the right topic? Will it serve the purpose? Also bearing in mind that these wins that we share, now for us here as ladies, as we share our wins, it is actually to build each one of us. It is to encourage us to come out and be like, okay, if so-and-so can also do this, then seriously, even me, I can win ABCD. I have this talent, I have this skill. So for us to share our wins shouldn't be a braggart kind of thing. And what brings about the braggart bit of it is just like how you win it and how you share your win. So let me give time to us for questions and probably key take-homes. For us, my teacher used to ask us that of all the things that I've talked about, what have you picked? Just to be sure that she did not waste time. So participants, what is your key take home? 1 or 2 can actually give me courage that at least what I have shared has actually sunk home. So can I have 1 or 2, 3 people just give a comment or share a concern or ask a question or just give what they think they have learned in our sharing today. Thank you. Someone has raised their hand. Yes, please.
Okay. So I think for me, the key takeaway is read the audience. So, what kind of win and to share with whom? Because I think as you were talking, it just shows that for some people, I think it depends with the, like what you're saying, with the audience or the people that you're sharing, the win with. Because even if you had to share it in church as a testimony, um, it depends with my heart. I might just feel like you are bragging. If I say, I'm the first person in my, like the example that you gave, I'm the first person in my family to have gotten a scholarship or to have gotten to university. For me, it is a big deal, and it shows that God has really showed up for me. But for someone, they might say, oh, is it necessary for you to say you're the first person? But it's because of them. It's not a me thing, it's about them. So knowing whom to share it with, when to share it, for me that was the key takeaway. Because whatever audience that you're in, there are some people, even if you say I'm humbled, trust me, somebody might say, she's still breaking, she's trying to be very humble, but the fact that she has used the word I'm humbled, it's already breaking. Yeah. So for me, the key takeaway is know your audience, when to
The
share.
audience.
Yeah, the
Mm.
audience is key, because whomever you decide to share it with, there still will be issues. If you work in, if you're at work, if you share it in a meeting, someone might say, oh, they just want to get visibility and be seen to have worked hard. Even if you do mention, my team and I, someone would definitely take offense. So it's about the audience. Know when to share. Know the people that you're sharing to. Yeah. So that was the key takeaway for me. Thank you. And it was
Thank
a
you so much.
really exciting presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that sharing. I have liked what you say, that even if you use the word I'm humbled, if someone still wants to say you're braggart, will still say. But at least I'm happy you've noted that audience is very, very important. It's not every audience for every win. Any other person?
Hi, hello, ma.
Hello.
Yeah. So I just have a question following that contribution.
Kindly speak up.
I said I have a question concerning that contribution. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so the last speaker spoke about the audience. Now, for most of us, I think we share our wins on social media like LinkedIn for possibly employers to see that, oh, we have certain skills and all. So, LinkedIn is a general public. Would you say we should decide when to on LinkedIn also? I think that's my question.
Okay. Thank you. I think your question is basically about the LinkedIn social media platform. One thing I understand about LinkedIn is a professional platform. That is one thing I know about LinkedIn. So things that are done in LinkedIn are basically professional things. So even as you're sharing your win, I think you will still need to take into consideration what win you're going to share on LinkedIn. If it is professional, I mean, you can share, yes, but also the toning matters. Yes, share the win that is professional, how you got to this promotion, and then you can add in the support you got from your team, probably the one that you're working with, so that as you put it on LinkedIn, someone is able to see that it was professionally, it was in a professional way that you achieved it. So I think LinkedIn is still taking us back to reading the audience that you have. I don't think you can go and put on, depends. I don't think you have to put a death announcement on a LinkedIn page and then say, I have lost my mother or so. Anyway, I think it appears, but for me, what I know about LinkedIn is more of a professional platform where people meet to look for jobs, people meet to share how to manage their human resource and so forth and so forth. So even your win, I think, according to me, I think it should be tailored in line of professionalism. Whatever win it is, it should be in line that will encourage somebody on how to manage their human resource somewhere, on how to achieve another win, on how to, get out there, introduce a new thing. You did this and that, and worked out for you as an organization, as an individual, as a business, so that someone has a leaf to borrow from you. Some other person can actually also contribute to this very answer. I may not be the final person. You could have a better submission to this question, but for me, that is what I think. I hope that answers you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Caroline, may I add something? I think it's still in line with what you have highlighted.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my experience with LinkedIn is I think it also depends on how you frame it. Because when you go through LinkedIn, there are certain, yes, the
The
tone.
tone, yes.
So it's how you frame it, like what you were saying, to say it's how it's because it's professional, it must sound educational. Like you're posting about your win so that
Yes.
you educate people or you give an opinion or a view about things so that people learn. Because I've seen some of the comments that people then put. I think it still goes back again to your audience, because there are some people who comment nasty things, even on LinkedIn, even if it's a professional platform, simply because they feel that a person is bragging. But maybe your intention when you post your win on LinkedIn is not to brag, but some people might view that as bragging. So I think it's about framing, knowing your audience, goes back again to knowing your audience, and yeah, and knowing also the timing, like what you're talking about. You can't start posting about a win when there's something inflammatory that's going on. So your win must not be related to something inflammatory, maybe that's going on at that point, because you're going to attract a lot of bad comments, and yeah. So just my little
Thank you.
addition. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It actually builds it very well. How you frame the win on LinkedIn matters, the tone, and then the audience. How you package it matters. I think that is it from me. Maybe let me hand it over to Phoebe to still continue. Maybe if there are other questions and concerns, I think let me welcome her on board. Yes, Phoebe.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Caroline, for your presentation. And thank you so much for everyone who's participated. Caroline, we appreciate you coming on to give us the insightful session and presentation. We are grateful. I'm trying to see if I can switch on my video before, or it will mess up with my internet. Okay. So I hope everyone enjoyed the session. I know I did. So thank you so much for the timely session, Caroline. We are grateful that you accepted the invitation. And also for, and just for explaining it so well. Thank you so much. So there's nothing much from me, but I will ask Success. I think Success had an announcement. Success, please do come on. Success, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay. So I was saying thank you, Caroline, for that beautiful presentation. I really thought and indeed know when, where, how, and with whom to share. Very important. So we appreciate you, and I really look forward to engaging more of one very exciting and engaging session. So definitely we're going to be calling on us. Anyone in this room can be our next speaker. So let's get ready. All right, I just have a little announcement around DBC. I posted on the WhatsApp group. So if you're not on the WhatsApp group, that could be maybe because you've not registered. So we will send the registration form. I held on sending the registration form again, so that we will not have a kind of confusion on what to work on. So after this session, we'll be sending the registration form possibly next week. So if you're not on that WhatsApp group and you've not registered as the official member of this forum, please do register so you can be added to the WhatsApp group. So I posted an information around DBC that we are really wanting more female scholars to register for DBC. Like the ratio is very down, like comparing the male scholars to female scholars and alumni. So please, if you're not registered yet and you intend to be there, kindly register. It will be good having a good presentation of female scholars at the Dream Conference. And we are also your meeting, the AWEP community meeting. So please register if you're here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's
Now,
all for me.
please repeat the last part. I don't know if it starts on my end, but you went a bit low. I don't know if it's the network.
Okay, where did you lose me?
So the last thing I heard, so you went quiet, then I just heard you say thank you very much. So I don't know if it's my internet, but just to ensure that it's not everyone just yes.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying, like, would send out the registration form, and everyone who intends to participate in DBC, please register. We really love to have a very strong female scholar representation at the Dream Big conference. So that's like, and also we also look forward to having like an in-person gathering. So if you want to be there, please register to attend the Dream Big conference. Yeah. I hope you got me because I think my internet is. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Success. No, I think it's clear. So as Caroline taught us, the key takeaway there is please do register for Dream Big, the Dream Big conference. And if you are not on the WhatsApp group, Success will resend the email with the link for the registration form, the registration form for AWEP first, and then where you'll be asked your number and whatnot, then you'll be added to the WhatsApp group. But for the Dream Big conference, I know that there's a couple of communication that has gone out on the main WhatsApp group for all scholars, and then there's also our social media, Facebook. I think there was a link that was shared there. So please do register. Like Success said, we do not want the imbalance of more male scholars versus young women. And then, as she also mentioned, we have our session for August will be in person. So that's also very exciting. So we hope to see you all there. So just in conclusion, next month we are having another exciting session. So our session for next month will be on executive presence and public speaking. So finding your authentic voice, commanding a room, and handling interruptions effectively. So I think it's a good follow-up from what we just learned about how to share your wins, but this one will speak more and communicate those wins, especially in our professional settings, whether we are representing our schools if we're still scholars, or if we are working in our professional settings, how do we speak effectively publicly? So that's what we're going to speak to. That's what we're going to have next month. And our speaker will be a lady called Besa Mwansa. So she's a Zambian young woman who's going to just speak to us about how to do that. I don't know if there's anything else that we've left that is there comments, questions before we end the session? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands or comments in the chat, so I am guessing that we are good. So I will end the session. Please do enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We hope to see you next month. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good Saturday too.
Thank you.
Thank you.